What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mandarin Metal, and today we are back in F1. We're racing yet again, and it's a very short track between Hungary or very short time between Hungary and the Belgian Grand Prix. And this is by far my favorite Grand Prix of the season. This is my all-time favorite track. And I just love how amazing this track is, and we are going to this track. We have signed Mark Webber in the previous video, so hopefully we can perform a little better than we did in Hungary. We took massive grid penalties to help protect us for the rest of the season, and that is what we're doing. We're looking to the rest of the season. Hopefully we can get some more wins. We've only got 2 wins for the season. We are still developing our car. I think our best chance is going to be in season 2, but we'll have to wait and see. The championship is not over yet. There's still a lot to play for. I think the constructors for us is done, but maybe between Mercedes and Red Bull not so much, but we are going to continue our charge. Now, as every practice weekend goes, we are doing our race. Or not race, we're doing track acclimatization. This is just trying to teach us our braking points, where we want to accelerate, trying not to wheel spin, and trying not to get oversteer, understeer, you know, all those technical terms that not everyone's going to understand. But all we need to know is how well we can perform in the track, and we need to know where we can improve. So this is what the track acclimatization does. It helps us understand each aspect of the track, each sector, making sure that we can perform the best on the when the race comes. You know, in qualifying as well, we want to be the best in qualifying. So this is what we do. And finally, on the 3rd lap, we did get the fastest lap, or we did not get the fastest lap, but we managed to do amazing in the track acclimatization. And then we went for another run, and we ended up getting a 1.4 second increase on our lap time. We've set a 147.5 on the hard tires. We are now P3, just behind Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz. And it's looking like a pretty dry weekend, except for the race. I think towards the end of the race, we are going to experience some rain. So we have to take that into account. And, you know, honestly, I completely forgot it was a sprint weekend, so I was quite shocked at everything we had to do. And you know, we generally skip practice 2 because we don't want to do it. We don't want to put unnecessary wear on our car, also on all the components that we do have. And you can see into turn 1 we are a little deep. It does kill your lap time a little bit. At the end of our qualification, we did improve by 7/10, putting in a 144.5. And yeah, that was the end for practice 1. We did quite well, but Lando Norris is just shy of 2/10 behind us on medium tires. So we need to take that into account going into qualifying. I think the guys behind us are going to be a lot quicker, especially with the nature of the track. Maybe it's not the best for us. It is a little overcast, but we are hoping to perform well at the Belgian Grand Prix. Now, this track is a little tricky. It's also very long. I think we set a 144 in our lap time, so it's almost 2 minutes at this track. Now we go out for our first lap into turn 1, approaching turn 2, which is Eau Rouge, going up to Radion. This is probably the nicest corner. It's the loveliest corner over there, and I go a little wide. I get a corner cutting warning, and that is not what we want to see on our first lap of Q1. Now approaching turn 5. This is the best opportunity to overtake at this track. Getting a good exit out of turn 7. Now approaching turn 8. This is a long corner, almost like a hairpin. And if you touch the curb here, you will spin your car, so you don't want to get any wheel spin. Fernando Alonso has just set the fastest lap of a 1:45. We did set a fastest lap in practice 1, so hopefully we can achieve another pole position. But I do think the best starting place at this Grand Prix is maybe second, even third, because if you are close to the cars behind you going up Rouge into Radion, then we will see some great overtakes. Now sector 3. This is probably, sector 2 is being a difficult one for me. We weren't quite quick during that sector, so we need to find a lot of time in those two sectors. And now approaching turn 18 into turn 19, this is another opportunity to overtake. Opening your DRS when you come out of turn 19 is very sudden, and now you will open your DRS. And approaching the line, we set a 1:45.2, so it's not the fastest lap that we could have set. It's not good, and we are now P4. We head back to the pits, and we're gonna have to go out again because we are 6th. We are in the elimination zone, and we don't want to be. We want to be out there because we want to make it through to Q2. That's what we need. And now going out for lap 2, we end up improving by 1.8 seconds. That is exactly what we wanted to see. That is what we needed to improve, and we have just set the fastest lap in qualifying. We are currently first. Now, does that mean we'll be able to match this time? 7/10 faster than the guys around us, a 1:43. But let's have a look. Are we able to match this time? We're not too sure. There's still a lot to play for in qualifying. We're only going into Q2 now. Have we used up all the energy and all the tires? And no, have we used up all our performance for this Grand Prix? Now, approaching the end of our banker lap, we do set a 1:45.5. This is now just your standard banker time. These are unused tires. We are going to set a new set of softs. We're currently in 11th, and we are going to go out now for our second lap in Q2. Let's have a look as we ride on board for our last flying lap of Q2. Into turn 1, great exit. Get a good exit here. You will claw back sometime, like you see. Hit the wall a little. It shouldn't be any issues. Now, going up Radion, here we go. Now, this is going to be the best opportunity to overtake because you're going to have slipstream, you're going to have GRS, and you are going to be using as much overtake as possible. But let's focus on this lap. We've just set the fastest first sector in this qualifying session. Now, approaching turn 8 now, just coming out of turn 7. We want to get a good exit here, trying to keep it close to the curb as possible, trying not to touch it. You don't want to touch it, you might just offset the car. Then, trying to keep it clean, don't push yourself too wide into those barriers. Now, we're almost a second up on our previous best, bearing in mind that it was set on an old set of soft tires. Sector 2 has been our nightmare, but we have improved by 1.5, 1.6 seconds. A little bit unstable in the rear of the car, but we are trying to keep it together. We have set a personal best in Sector 2, now Sector 3. This is possibly another overtaking zone if you are close enough to the car ahead of you. We'll have a look as we approach the final corners of this Grand Prix, and here we go. Turn 18, heavy braking zone. Then into turn 19. 1.6, 1.7 seconds up, a little wide there, not great, so we have lost a lot of time, but is that enough to put us through to Q3? And yes it is, we are 6th on the grid, but we have made it through to Q3. That is a very good lap time just to keep us in the fight. It is not the best lap time that we have set in qualifying. We did put a 1:43.3 if I remember correctly in Q1, and we still should have been on pole position, or not pole position, but we should have been first in Q2. Hopefully we can replicate what we did in Q1 in Q3 now. Again, we are going to go out on a soft tire just to put in a banker time, just to see how much we can improve on. This is just to make sure that we have some sort of lap time on the board. And here we go. We end up setting a lap time of 1:45.1, so much better performance than in Q2 on the U set of soft tires, but we still need to go out for our fastest lap. This is our final flying lap for Q3. Now, can we replicate the time that we put in for Q1? Let's have a look. Into turn 1, get a good exit, already 3/10 up. This is exactly what we need. This is what we are looking for. Now, approaching Eau Rouge, going up, ready on. Now, we're using all of our energy at this point. DRS is wide open, still not improving that much. Now approaching turn 5, getting a good exit out of turn 6. We've set the fastest first sector. Okay, turn 7 now, approaching turn 8. This needs to be nailed. A little bit on the curb, which is not great. I think we could have done a lot better there. Now trying to keep the car on the track. Don't push it wide into those barriers. Approaching turn 10 and 11. These are some fast corners here. But I think the most technical part is still ahead of us. Trying to nail turn 12, 13 and 14. And here we go. Running a little wide. Going there. Now going out of turn 13. Approaching turn 14, and how does our lap time look? It's only 1.3 seconds faster than our previous best. We need to improve by a lot more. We are in the final sector for qualifying. We need to make sure we get a good exit out of turn 18 and turn 19. We need to nail these last two corners. Here we go. Do we get a great exit here? Not too bad. We could have done a little better. DRS wide open, and we have not improved. We've only done a 1.1 second improvement, and we are 6th for the sprint race. This is not what we wanted. We were not able to replicate the time that we set in Q1. We set a 1:43.9, 5/10 of pole position. Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, and Max Verstappen are the top 3. Then we have George Russell and Sergio Perez in the top 5. This is not what we wanted, but we need to look forward. We need to look for the sprint race, because if we can do well in the sprint race, we will be able to do well in the race. We will get a good qualifying position for the race if we can get a good sprint race.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Russell, Perez, Iceman, Norris, Hamilton, Ocon, Magnussen, Webber, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Ricciardo, Stroll, Joe, Albon, and Logan Sargent. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
And there you have it, guys. We are all set for the sprint race. We are going to be racing on the medium tire. Hopefully this is going to be the best tire for us. I don't think we can go on the hard. I think it's going to be too much of an offset, and we're not going to perform that well. So we are 5 lights, and away we go for the Belgian Grand Prix sprint race. Getting a great exit. Can we dive down the inside of all these cars? Almost making contact. We are up into 3rd place. Russell around the outside, but it was a great start from us. We've made up 3 places, 3 positions, and this is what we need. Now we need to stick with the guys ahead of us, making sure we can use all of our overtake on these straights and making sure they don't overtake us, because we need the points. We are still fighting for this championship. Can we fend off the guys behind us? Do we have enough pace in this car for us to do well in this Grand Prix? Now, let's have a look at where we will be at the end of lap 1, but this is what we're focused on. We need to stick with Russell. He is 1.1 seconds ahead of us, and The thing is, I think our car setup was good for the faster sections of this track. I don't think for sector 2 we lost too much time. This is where we lost all our time and we weren't able to stick with the guys in front. And you can already see that. You can see the deficit we have, 1.4 seconds, almost 2 seconds from Charles Leclerc. So it's not looking good. And we are trying our best. We are using up everything, all our skill that we have to try and be the best on the track at the moment. But you know, we do have a little bit of an issue with the car. It's not fully upgraded. Carlos Sainz is right on us. He is 1/10 behind us. Is he gonna dive down the inside here? No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it. Now, coming out of turn 19, making sure we get a better exit than Carlos Sainz, and yes we do. Charles Leclerc has just put in the fastest lap of the sprint race. And here we go, onto lap 2. And you can see where we are quicker is sector 1, because we are able to get great exits. So we are now 5/10 behind George Russell. But unfortunately we do not have DRS, otherwise we might have been able to overtake him. But we just weren't able to do it. And now on lap 3, again, Carlos Sainz has set the fastest lap and he is breathing down my neck. I need to fend him off. We are good out of turn 18 and turn 19. We get a better exit than the other cars ahead of us. George Russell has just taken the lead of the sprint race and they are fighting ahead, and this is what we also need. We want them to be in our DRS. As you can see, we do have DRS now, and hopefully we can overtake Charles Leclerc. But it is going to be a little difficult because he has DRS with George Russell in front of him, and he's also got slipstream. So we just aren't going to be able to get as close as what we want to because of the nature of this track. It's just once they have DRS, you know, you can see we're fending off Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz has been overtaken by Max Verstappen on lap 6 and he is falling back. Now we need to fend off the 3-time world champion, Max Verstappen. We need to fend him off. Can we do it? He's getting closer, but we're using all of our overtake. We are going to be late on the brakes going into turn 5. A little late on those brakes, and yes, we do end up keeping the position, maybe pushing Max Verstappen a little wide. It does mean that Lewis Hamilton does come into play, and maybe they can start fighting and leave me alone. I don't want them to ruin this party. We are currently 3rd, and we're looking at a good finish in Spa with the car that we have. You know, we are a lot of the times in these races we are out of place, and this is what we want. Hamilton has overtaken Verstappen. I think maybe the contact between myself and Verstappen on lap 6 gave him a little bit of damage. So maybe that's what's happened, and that's why he's so far back now. Then I did have a lot of wheel spin coming out of turn 1. This is the final lap of the sprint race. Hamilton is right on our tail. He is 1/10. He's going to have a DRS and overtake and the slipstream to try and overtake us. But this is where our package or our setup is doing so well. And again, late on the brakes, and he had to back out of the corner. We thought maybe he had enough space, but maybe we didn't give him all the space he could have had. Now we just need to navigate these last 2 sectors because honestly the tires at this point are finished. It feels like we're sliding around. We definitely need to look at some upgrades for our tire wear program or our tire wear, because it's just we need our tires to last a little longer, because we're not seeing that. We're not seeing the tire wear that we want to, because we're suffering where these tires should be lasting 10, 12 laps, maybe even 16 laps. We are putting so much pressure on them that they're only lasting about 8, 10 laps, and then our tire wear goes through the roof. Maybe it's also my driving style. Maybe it's something I need to look at to improving my driving style. Maybe be less aggressive on the tires. Hopefully we can improve that as the season goes on. George Russell has won the sprint race. Then Charles Leclerc comes in 2nd. We come in 3rd, Hamilton 4th, and Verstappen 5th. And that is it for the sprint race. We are all set now for the Belgian Grand Prix. We are going to be starting 3rd on the grid. If we have a great start to the Grand Prix, we could be leading it from lap 1 and hopefully run away with this Grand Prix. We get a whopping 6 points, which is good. And more importantly, Max Verstappen only gets 4 points. And there we can see it. We are now 61 points behind in the championship. We are closing in. This is a big championship fight. We have potentially 6 or 7 people fighting for the win of this championship, which is absolutely amazing. This is, we haven't seen this in a very long time. But here we go for the Belgian Grand Prix.
Welcome then, as we take a step back into the nostalgic golden days of motorsport. Spa is unashamedly a throwback, and all the better for it. Climbs, drops, sharp turns, chicanes, sweeping high-speed corners, all while taking in some of the most beautiful scenery that Europe has to offer. This might sound like a travel brochure, but it's not. It's a race day. Welcome along to Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. Spa-Francorchamps then, a historic 19-corner circuit with a lap distance of 4.35 miles. There's over 100 meters of elevation change here, and with long stretches of the lap spent flat out, a good top speed will be vital for success. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Iceman, Hamilton, Verstappen, Sainz, Perez, Norris, Ocon, Fernando Alonso, Webber, Bottas, Magnussen, Gasly, Tsunoda, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Ricciardo, Joe, Hulkenberg, Albon, and Logan Sargent. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is none other than Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Iceman. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
And that is your classification for the Belgian Grand Prix. And this is a strategy. They are giving us a soft to medium, but we're going to invert it. We're going to do a medium to soft. Hopefully it doesn't bite us in the bum later on in the Grand Prix. We'll have to look. And we are underway for the Belgian Grand Prix. We get a great start, but the guys ahead of us were just doing a little better. Now Hamilton on the inside, almost overtaking us, but we managed to keep the position. We were late on the brakes into turn 1. Russell and Leclerc are busy fighting for the lead of this Grand Prix. Here we go. Hamilton has just overtaken me. He is now up into third. Can I keep with him? Am I able to overtake Hamilton? Sainz is breathing down my neck, and Verstappen is also just behind us. So, can I be late on the brakes going into turn 5? And I am. There's a little bit of contact with myself and Hamilton, but we managed to get back the position. We are now up into third place. Great start, great action for the start of this Grand Prix. But Hamilton is fighting back. I'm trying to see if we have a bit of damage. Yes, we do. Very little, but this is going to maybe impact us later on in this race. You know, it's crazy to think how the small amount of damage that we can pick up, how massive the effect is on us, that it changes the whole nature of the car and how it handles. This is something that we need to keep in mind when racing, that, you know, a small piece that we think is insignificant is actually a major part in the performance of the car. But Hamilton is 3/10. The guys ahead of us are just pulling away. Before lap 2, they're 2 seconds ahead of us. It's not looking good for wanting to win this Grand Prix, my favorite Grand Prix of the season. But hopefully we can at least hold on to third place. Now, Leclerc has put in the fastest lap of a 1:49, and we've done a 1:51, so we are very, very slow. This is not what we wanted to see. Now on lap 2, Hamilton has dropped back, Carlos Sainz has overtaken him, and there's a virtual safety car. There's something that's happened on track. I was thinking of diving into the pits, but we don't. because I think it's a little too early. It is only lap 2 and it moved to a full-fledged safety car. This is very interesting. Oscar Piastri is out of the Belgian Grand Prix. What's nice is now that we have a safety car, we can save a bit of our tires. We can also save some fuel because we were burning through our fuel quite quickly, and this is not what we wanted to see. Now on lap 4, the safety car has ended and we are back racing. Here we go into turn 1. Are we close enough to the guys in front? We are, but they got the jump on us with that restart. They were just a little quicker out of turn 18 and 19. Now going to turn 1, going through Eau Rouge up into Radion. Here we go. And now obviously we don't have DRS at this point, but we do have our ERS. We are up into overtake. Gears screaming in our ear. Are we able to overtake Russell? No, we aren't, but we do set the fastest lap, or the fastest first sector, and at the end of the lap we set the fastest lap, the 147.1. This is hopefully going to be an extra point in the bag for us later on, and now we are getting closer to the guys ahead. But again, Russell and Leclerc are starting to slowly pull away from us. On lap 9, their performance is a lot better than ours. Here you can see our estimated pit stop is lap 13, but honestly, with the tires and how they're feeling, I'm not enjoying it. So we are going to switch up the strategy. We're not going to wait till lap 16 to put on the medium tires, or the soft tires. We're going to come in a little earlier and we're going to put on the hard tires. I think this is going to be the better strategy. This is going to help protect us from losing any more positions. Verstappen is 1.1 seconds behind us. Perez is 6.2 seconds. So this is something we need to consider, is do we want to lose a lot of positions on a strategy that might work, or are we able to protect ourselves? And we're thinking of protecting ourselves from the guys behind us. We don't want them to, cause any issue for us later on in this Grand Prix. So hopefully we can, with the setting, going to the hard tires, we'll be able to do this. Now Leclerc does come into the pits, and now I'm thinking, oh geez, should I have gone into the pits? But we are on the medium tire. We should be able to go a lot longer than them. But this is my issue. We were putting so much wear on our tires that we needed to stop early. And that is not something we wanted to do. We stopped on lap 10, going on to lap 11. We stopped here. And we really need to invest some money and also some time into trying to fix our tire wear, because it's honestly killing our races. We aren't doing the best with our tire wear, so we need to have a look at this. We are trying to protect ourselves from the guys that have pitted. They will be a lot quicker. Max Verstappen is now 17. We are 17 seconds out, but he does end up overtaking us over here. And this is now lap 11. Carlos Sainz is right behind us. He will have DRS, but hopefully we do get DRS on Max Verstappen. We need to keep it cleaner. We don't need any corner cutting warnings or anything. We do have DRS up into overtake. Trying to protect myself. There's a little bit of contact between myself and Carlos Sainz. I was a little aggressive with that defense, but we managed to hold on to that position. Now Max Verstappen is right in front of us, and he is our next person we want to overtake, because effectively he has now taken that final podium spot. Russell now has pitted on lap 13 and he will be able to overtake us. I'm not going to fight Russell because he's in a quicker car. They're doing a lot better than us. His tires are going to be, I think, 3 laps younger than mine, or 2 laps younger than mine, sorry. And we don't need that. We don't need to fight unnecessarily, because it just means that we might bring Perez and Norris back into play. And on lap 18, that's exactly what happened. We weren't performing. Our car was struggling through this second sector. So every time we had finished sector 2, starting sector 3, we have lost 5/10, a second, a lap to the guys behind us and to the guys in front of us. You can already see Verstappen is 11 seconds ahead of us. Russell is P2, he is 13 seconds ahead of us. And now Perez is 7/10 behind us. We need to protect ourselves on lap 22. This is going to be the last lap of this Grand Prix. Is he able to overtake us, or are we able to keep the position? Luckily, the rain has not come. Maybe we would have done better in the rain. We don't know. But it was okay. Now, the one chance he had was over here. The second chance will be in Sector 2, where we are possibly the slowest, and then going into Sector 3. We need to save all of our ERS, making sure we perform, at least hold on to 4th place. You know, starting P6 at the sprint race, going to P3, now ending P4. It's good positions, it's good points for us. And this is another part of the track where he could overtake us. You can see he is going to be 4/10 behind us because we are just a little slow. 3/10. Now we need to nail the next set of corners. Turn 12, 13, and 14. There you can see there is a little bit of rain on my screen. And we are now just edging out Perez very slowly. He is 4/10. We are going to use up all of our energy, making sure we leave nothing on the table. He is 1/10. He is almost able to overtake us. Charles Leclerc has won the Belgian Grand Prix. Ferrari have won a race. They finally got a strategy right. But let's have a look at this. We are now going to cross the line, and we do secure 4th place for this Grand Prix. What a relief. And it's not podium positions, but it is what we needed. What an end to the Belgian Grand Prix. Driver of the day goes to Alex Albon. Good up on Alex for driving the way he did. Charles Leclerc wins your Belgian Grand Prix, and we'll have a look now who comes second. It is George Russell comes second, and Max Verstappen comes in 3rd place. And there you have it, guys. That is it. And hopefully we can improve more in the Grand Prix. We are going to Zandvoort next. We are going to Netherlands. It's going to be the Dutch Grand Prix. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the video, and thank you so much for all the support you guys have given me. Please, if you like the video, like it, and if you want to subscribe, go for it. Subscribe. We will be putting out a lot of content this year, and I love the support everyone has given me. But yes, thank you so much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. Cheers, guys.
Is Alfa Romeo, whose good result moves them further up the championship. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.